Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Yesterday, we have seen three things. Lokanuvartanam tyaktva, Dehanuvartanam tyaktva, Shastranuvartanam tyaktva. What we will do? Swadhyasapanayam kuru. I will discuss it today that we are having three asanas, basic. Like, we have 5 basic needs in our life. Education, health, shelter, then food, and the clothings. But is it true we are having only 5? Actually, we don't know the difference between our need, our desire, and the luxury of our life. We know very well. But whenever it is required, we forget that. That's the problem. So Gurudev is writing, at this moment, we all, as members of society, are fully engaged in the standard way of doing things. The standard methods everywhere adopted by others according to the fashion of the times. This is termed here as Loka Anuvartanam. Since we live as we are living, we are what we are. If you want to lift your life into a greater ambit, you have to change your ways of living. Say, from Upanishadic time, the rishis are hammering unto us, change your lifestyle, change your lifestyle. Lifestyle means change your vision to see the life. That's the main thing. Here Gurudev also saying the same thing. A girl after marriage suddenly becomes more responsible and her old way of life undergoes a change. A boy becomes a middle-aged man and then an old man, and at each stage the old ways of life change, yielding place to a new. I told you once or not, I don't know. One of my friends got married. I'm telling about few decades ago. So his newly married wife, on the second day of marriage, the couple have to come to the husband's house, as the decorum is. The newly married wife, oh, terrible crying, terrible, and getting fainted. Believe me, I have witnessed it. Then sprinkling water, she is getting up, again crying, and she will not come with her husband. Lastly, as if forcefully, there was an ambassador car on that time, white ambassador, started with a lot of, roses, forcefully, as if that caged that girl and locked the door from outside. outside. After 10 days, I got a holiday. And I thought that I will have a cup of tea in the morning with my friend, very bosom friend. So I went there. I came to know that my friend has no holiday on that day. So my friend's wife is very busy cooking and all those things. Suddenly, her mom called, and I was stunned with the reply. Mom, didn't you get the proper time to call me up? Don't you know that your son-in-law goes to office in that time? Please call me after 12. Believe me, I can't believe my eyes and ears that what I am. See, in 10 days, what a shifting, what a transformation. I'm not judging that it is good or bad. So that, please take that shifting part. The same girl who were not intended to come with her husband, a, a terrible scene was created by that same girl. Now, how much responsible she is? She is refusing her mom's call because she has to cook for her husband. Vedanta means transformation of our vision, being more responsible about ourselves, being more responsible about our children, about our family life. People who are too much attached and try to teach us that Swamiji, you have never done any samsara, so you don't know. We are samsaris. You just think yourself, does Vedanta not prepare us to be a great samsari? Great samsari means successful samsari who lives in the samsar happily, peacefully, without any problem. Vedanta never indulges us that leave your house, leave your properties, leave your husband, leave your son, leave your daughter. Never. Vedanta means eye correction. So, lokanuvartanam tyaktva, dehanuvartanam tyaktva, shastranuvartanam tyaktva. Here, one thing I just want to mention you, shastranuvartanam tyaktva means direct meaning that the desire for studying a lot, you have to tyaktva, you have to reject it from your mind. You have to discard it. So the thing is, it's not that here that you will study Vedanta books and Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is telling you, don't do that, don't do that. Here, Shastranuvartanam Tyaktva means non-Vedantic text. Clear? Which is not conducive for your Vedantic studies, Vedantic lifestyle. You have to renounce it. Everything, suppose, have you ever had any homeopathy medicine? So if you go to the doctor, they will tell first restriction, you should not eat a raw onion, raw garlic, a raw lemon, lime juice, and turmeric. Some doctors will tell, yes, you can eat a raw garlic, but not raw onion. So I asked two, three doctors that all the homeopathy medicines have restriction of that. He told no. But most of the medicines have some restrictions. So there are some common. That's why every time we can't remember that which medicine uh, doesn't work in that situation. So we tell all the things. See, whenever you are taking it and you need some cure out of it, you have to maintain some certain rules, which is prescribed by the means non-conducive thing you should not take, non-conducive for the medicine to act. So whenever you have come into the spell of Vedanta, which happened for me, I was a um, what you call in English, herbivorous or omnivorous, whatever we tell. Yes. So omnivorous reader I was. But whenever I came into contact of, that Vedanta and Vedantic study, my Acharya told, this you should not study. You should not read. And I got a very good effect. Nowadays, what happened? I don't like actually, other than any grantha. Even when I go for listening to any talks of anything else, if they are a very lighter thing, I really don't like. Your mind is tuned up with such a higher thing that it will be very difficult to slow down and low down. You will feel that God's inside. So if you want to gain a hold on the spiritual path, change without changing the old values of life and ways of life. A new dimension of life and living cannot be achieved. Gurudev is telling. You have to give up imitating the false values of others around you. Meaning, stop living blindly a stamped blueprint of life supplied by the fashions of the times or by the sensuous men who seek their fulfillment in sense indulgence. Just living the routine life of unintelligent imitation of others in society is the surest way to a life of sensuality. For spiritual purposes, a most intelligently replanned way of life is to be followed. If you want to take up sincere sadhana, you will have to redirect your life's flow. Hence, the first thing to be renounced is the blind following of the patterns of the time. Means superstition, you can say. If a cat crosses your road, suppose you are in an ambulance and the severe patient is there and you are going into a very lonely road and suddenly a cat or a snake or anything else has crossed the road. How long will you wait? That superstition you have to change, that now my first priority is my patient. That is lokanuvartanam. Then the thing is, deha anuvartanam, it is to live obeying implicitly the impulses of the flesh. Till now we have been slaves to the physical body, feeding it, looking after it, fattening it, taking it to hospital when ill, when healthy, squandering its vitality in sensual living. Thus we live, always at its service. This should also be given up. Renounce living in the flesh as flesh. Yesterday we have discussed it very nicely, that if you are too much body oriented person, actually you are neglecting the higher. Body orientation means you are totally deluded, which cannot be corrected. You are trying to make it corrected, paying your important time. In a big house, there are very less work. So one servant is there and he is having very less work, you know. So one day what he will do, he cut the turned tail of a dog and putting it into the pipe. So when his boss in the morning saw that my unintelligent servant is doing something, because there is no work today. Two people are there. So, and the food was in the fridge. So that person thought that, okay, no problem. I will just take it out and I will just make it heated and I will eat. And that servant is doing, just putting up the tails into the pipe and taking it out. The master asked him, what are you doing? You are wasting your time. Master thought, means the thing that servant was trying to straighten the tail. The, lunch time is over and the master was very compassionate. But in the evening, he was horrified with the servant. That at least this much of intelligence don't you have, that the turned tail cannot be straightened ever, and started scolding heavily. The servant cried and started crying, and he used to tell, I'm not trying to straightening up the tail. I'm trying to turn the pipe. So, this is the dehanuvartanam that you have to do. Renounce. You have to renounce it. Dehanuvartanam tyaktva. Siryamanatvat sariram. This sarira will never be 100% healthy. As long as we will be aged, we know 1 year equals to 5 years of youth. how difficult every day it is. So, how we will be uh, living happily? This is the formula Vedanta has given. Don't pay attention. Whatever, because everything in your house, everything with you, they are seeking your attention without your knowledge. All the walls, even your bag, what you are carrying, even your specs, everything needs your attention. That's why you need to mop up the glasses. That's why you need to wash your clothes. That's why you need to polish your leather bag. Shiryamanatvat sariram. As much as you will pay attention with it, it will start sucking you up. The next thing to be left is the blind following of the scriptures without understanding their deeper implications. Shastra Anuvartanam. Some commentators, however, interpret this term as leaving the study of all books other than texts on spiritual ideals and religious ways of living. Shastranuvartanam Nama Moksha Prayojaka Grantha Parishilanam Vina Itara Grantha Dhyayanadikam Shastra Shastrapadam Karma Shastra Paramva. It is in transliteration, so I'm not very much habituated in reading Sanskrit in English. Whatever it is, living these three, what should one do in your own self? The misconception that I am the body, I'm the mind, I'm the intellect, and do away with apanayanam, to accomplish means always do away with apanayanam, to accomplish guru. So in short, end of misconceptions created by the superimpositions upon your divine self. We cannot do away with the shortcomings in our personality without the world, the body, and the scriptures. This verse read as a whole means make use of the world, be of healthy body, make intelligent use of the Shastra instead of following them blindly. How modern, how progressively fresh is this deluded idea. We are tempted to follow the world. We are egged on to live a life of the flesh. We are whipped to pursue the study of secular things only because of the three kinds of vasanas in us: lokaishana, putraishana, vittaishana. They are also called the triple appetites or ashanas. These breed the respective blind following of the body, the texts, and the world. In order to get over these, their respective vasanas are to be eliminated. The existence of these vasanas is symptomatically proved by the manifestation of the apping tendency in their respective fields. That is called anuvartanam. When these three vasanas are removed, many other vasanas get associated with this. The symptomatic treatment by which the disease germs are ultimately removed is indicated in this verse. The thing is, ahara nidra bhayamaithunancha etat samanam manusya pasubhi. The desire for everything else, like desire for sleeping, desire for food, desire for bodily requirement, sensual pleasure, and to live with that, it's like an animal sort of life. We should not live it. It indulges us to be more samsari, means everyone has to be in the samsara till death, which is not in our hand. So many people I know, they told Swamiji, please bless us, please pray for us. We don't want to live, we don't want to live, we don't want to live. In that way, 20 years, 30 years they have spent because the death is not in our hand. So how happily you will be at your home, living with everything else. They are the sutras, aphorism for living a happy life. Harihi Om. Om